Welcome back, everyone, to Collaboration Conversations. Raise your hand if you struggle with sales at all, if you find them stressful, if you've ever went, no, 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 I can't do another cold call. Raising my hand for sure. I'm so excited to bring you my guest co-host today. First of all, I want to say that we're missing Pearl and we're looking forward to her return when she's ready to come back. But in the meantime, we have a guest co-host today, Mr. Eddie Sand. And Eddie is awesome. Welcome, Eddie.
Oh, thank you so much, Regina. You already made me feel so good. So wonderful. Thank you, Regina. It's a pleasure to be here. We have had some great
Awesome.
conversation, and I am looking forward for today.
Awesome. We have had some great conversations, and we have discovered that we could talk all day long. So
Yes,
we'll see how this goes, folks.
we
If
sure
we run
can.
out of things to say with each other, it will be a miracle. So let me tell you just a little bit about Eddie, and then I want him to tell more about himself. So here's his LinkedIn bio piece that I just love. Transforming gritty sales calls into profitable conversations. And boy, isn't conversations what we're all about on this show? Working with small business owners to double sales revenue without cold calling or pitches. I love it because those of us who are not geared to sales struggle with that. So, Eddie, welcome to the show. So glad you're here
Thank
today.
you so much. Yeah, don't you know it? We all do. Even myself. That's what got me to be good at the sales conversations or the sales process.
Right?
Is that everyone fears that rejection.
Yes, yes.
All of us do.
It's a part of us, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yes.
It sucks, and we have to go through it, but
Yeah,
it really hurts,
yeah,
and many people, as you're getting to know me, many people who know me, they'll agree that I don't like it.
yeah.
I still don't like it.
I still don't like it. I I've always proclaimed that I'm not good at sales, and pretty much most businesses I've had in the past, I've hired people to do sales, and even in this business, um, and felt much more comfortable having somebody else do that who's more wired for it, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
But what I've learned over the last year, I guess, is how easy you can make that into a conversation. And then it's them inviting you to tell you more. I love the term permission marketing, where people invite you to share that price and to tell more. So anyway, I'm jumping ahead
Yeah.
of the game. First, we want to hear more about you. We want to know a little bit about who you are, how you got here. You know,
Yeah, it's been I will tell you, it's been a very wild ride for me. As I just mentioned, I'm the type of person that I want everybody to like me. I just do. And it was a hard transition for me to understand that not everyone will. And
yeah,
what held me back, at least for the past, I don't know, maybe 15 years or so, it held me back was that even though I have values, and even though I believed in what I believed in and how I stand, I still will be nice to people and not share that or not show that because I just want them to like me. One of my buddies, he made fun of me one night when I was visiting his house and we had dinner together, and he was making fun of me because I don't have it now, but I usually what I did many years ago, I had some t-shirts print out with my name, ediesan.com,
right.
because I figure if I was going to pay for clothing, why not just brand it and get some
Yeah, there
text,
you go. I love it.
right? So basically, as he's looking at my T-shirt and we're having conversation, he said, "Eddie, you should actually, the way you are, you should have please like me.com."
Oh, oh, that
And
hurt,
I was
didn't
like,
it?
oh, like, okay, I'll do what I can to change, and so it did. It's taking me a while, but it's all about. It comes back down to the rejection part. I was in the Marine Corps. When I left, I wanted to go and find me a job, but I somehow ended up selling colognes, perfumes in the streets.
Oh, wow.
And can I tell you that I think that actually elevated my fear of rejection because,
Oh,
oh my goodness, that was a huge dose of rejection.
yes, I'm sure. People just walking past you, right?
uh Running away from me,
Yeah.
cussing at me, thinking that I'm going to mug them because I did
Oh
this in New
my.
Jersey too, by the way. So as you know, if you're from the north, New Jersey, New York, anyone that's walking by and says, "Hey, how are you?" It's like our radar increases to like, yeah, you're about
Right.
to mug me. What you want, right?
Right. Okay.
It was not good. But that's how it all started. Of course, I felt so many times in that type of environment, doing what I can and thinking that I could do better. But I will tell you, in the sales industry, first of all, we all sell. Those, even yourself,
Everybody.
Regina. Yeah, even
Everybody
yourself, like you said,
sells.
yeah,
Yeah.
everyone sells. But I like what you just said. You like to hire those who are in it, right? Who's got that skill kind of good, but everyone
Right.
needs to sell.
Yeah.
And that kind of helped me out a little bit because it basically made me feel like, okay, well, if I need to sell, then I need to understand more of the psychology behind why I do what I do,
Right.
the mental reactions of people.
Yeah.
Why do people do what they do? So I got
Yeah.
into all that. I got into the subconscious, the mindset, the why people do what they do, they act what they act. What are the people looking for?
Right.
And I that's where I ended up. I ended up increasing my skill in sales, not knowing that that's really what I was doing, and then finding out that there were two paths that I needed to take.
Mm.
One path was either a money making sales professional
Right.
or a purpose driven sales profession.
Yes.
And I will tell you that through the experience up to the point where I will have to say maybe 5, almost 6 years ago, when I found out and it clicked, the reason why my sales were not in par with what others thought I should be doing was
Right.
because I was being purpose driven into
Right.
a money making path, and that was
Right.
not
And it
aligning.
doesn't work.
It
Does
doesn't
not
work.
work. Yeah. Yeah.
Once I made the change, the same thing. There's nothing wrong with the money making path compared to the purpose driven. They both make money.
Right.
But what's
Important
wrong,
distinction. Yes.
exactly, and what's wrong is that no one brings up the fact that there are two paths, and the question, are you in the right path?
Yes. So how does someone know that?
Oh my goodness. It's to me now it's easy to
Right.
distinguish a money driven person,
Right.
but before I didn't. So I will tell you this. One of the key things that you will feel uncomfortable asking for money or exchanging your services for money. It will feel uncomfortable if you're doing it the money making way.
Mm.
That right there should tell you, okay, why do I feel uncomfortable? Why am I always not why am I always giving, but I just don't have the money to show for?
Right.
Or
Right.
why does everybody in my network believes that I'm the best thing ever, but I still struggle with money? Then that's when you ask the question, where are you learning how to
Mm.
sell? Where are you learning your sales process skills, your marketing skills? Think about where you're getting that information, because it may just be that you are following a money driven marketer or a money driven
Right.
mentor or
Right.
something.
And there are
So
certainly many out there. And
there,
there's nothing, I mean,
there's many.
it's kind of the different strokes for different folks, right?
Yes.
It's one style appeals to one person and another style appeals to the other. And you and I are both in that purpose driven
Yeah.
model,
Yeah.
and yeah, but there
Yeah.
are
It's
others who really,
yeah. And it's, I have so many conversations. As a matter of fact, just last week there was a specific assignment that I asked one of the individuals, and I said, hey, why don't you just instead of uh, putting up a commercial when you're introducing yourself, instead of doing that, why don't you just tell your story? And
yeah,
then, even if you don't get your name in there, even if you don't get who you work with or what you do, just tell your story.
and people will remember that.
People will like you,
Yeah,
or you'll attract the right people, and they're going to, after that, say, hey, Regina, man, your story, I can relate.
right.
What do you do?
Yeah, yeah,
Right. So,
very good.
but you know why I said that was because I have said that to this same person multiple times. And can you imagine, it was hard for her to think that way? And every new version of her introduction getting better and better, but you can
Right,
still tell, just take this off, or flip this, or say, don't say this. Because why? All her years of learning has been ingrained in is the money making marketing way.
right, right.
And so that's all we know. So to answer that question, like, how do we know? Well, a lot of times is, again, not only if you just miss a line, like there's something you don't feel right, but also you'll find yourself putting all these pitches, all
Right.
these sales pitches in anything and everywhere you go. And people seem to back up a little bit, put
Yeah,
that wall
right.
in front of you. Right.
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
see, that's what it's all about. And one of the key ingredients, I think, if you want to know for sure that you are purpose driven, this is what you do. You just practically look around your closest individuals, closest networks, closest connections, the closest collaborations that you have in your
right,
vicinity, right? Those
right,
5 or 6 people that you have, and look at them.
right,
Are they living with a purpose to support or make an impact in their industry, in their world?
right.
Or are they
Yeah,
always pushing for the next best thing, the next shiny object, the next program, the next this, and they're always selling?
yeah.
Just look around.
Cool. Very cool. So you mentioned the magic word in what you just said, though, and that was collaborations.
Yes, yes.
So let's shift conversation just a little bit here and talk about how have collaborations enhanced your business, the success of
Wow.
your business?
It is so important. It is so important in our lives. It made me feel that I was not alone. Collaborating with someone meant that there's someone out there that care about my success, that
Yeah,
care about Eddie, about who
right,
I am.
right.
And I will tell you that that principle of having those, I call them meaningful conversations,
Yeah,
changed. Again, it helped me to be super solid in who I am and what I do, because there it was there. It was just, they helped, they supported, they they cheer me on.
right.
And it's so needed, it's so important. And without that, without that, Regina, I would still probably be, knocking like a wall down with my head or something, like, just running into the same wall over and over, because that's what also transformed the way I know that, oh my goodness, this is the right way for me. Right,
Yeah.
there are people who care.
So it sounds like your collaborations have contributed to your personal development as well as to your business development.
Completely. Can I tell you that you just said something right now, and you can't take those two apart. You know
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
it's almost like when you know that when you love what you do, it's part of you.
Yes. Yes.
And the cool thing, even this morning, I had a wonderful conversation with Kirsty, and when she told me her story, none of her story related to what she does, but I knew that she did something amazing.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it was at the end when I said, "So what do you sell?" Like literally, it was amazing. And when she told me, I said, "Wow, you're in an industry that is completely filled with all this gimmicks and stuff out there, but yet here I asked you, what do you
Right.
do?"
Right. And that's an interesting piece because I think a lot of us struggle with the storytelling aspect, even though we
Mhm.
know the power of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily come naturally for some of us, like sales,
Yeah.
it's anytime we can get an assist in that storytelling element, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, and that's how collaborations start happening.
Right.
When you like someone, Regina, I really like you, so we're talking. How can we collaborate already?
Exactly.
And
Yes.
we're not pushing it because it's going to happen. But
Right.
if I have had, I'm sure you have, conversations that they somehow end up pitching you on everything they can think of.
Yeah.
I never go back to that. Like, why would I
Right.
even bother?
Why would I? Yeah. Yeah. Or you get those in your inboxes wherever they may be, your whether that's LinkedIn or your email or your Facebook or whatever, you get those messages that are just an instant pitch,
Yeah,
nothing to develop a relationship. And folks, don't do that. don't
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 do
do
that.
that.
No, build that relationship.
Yes.
Joey just posted something today on LinkedIn that he's always so good at this. He brought the topic about those who are seeking to make money. They want to make it fast in today and miss out on relationship. And those
Yeah.
who are mission driven, they're always seeking to build relationship, and
Right.
they actually have a return on their investment, time and money increase in the long run.
And when you've built those relationships, and folks, those don't have to be 10-year relationships to build a relationship. Yes, you want it to go on, but I mean, it could be like Eddie and I haven't known each other that long. We were
Mm,
introduced by a friend, a mutual friend, and we hit it off immediately, and we're looking for opportunities to do things together. But when you've built those relationships, you can reach out to those people and you can have a really nice conversation about,
mhm.
maybe you've got a new program. I've got a program kicking off next month. And, and so I can reach out to Eddie and say, Eddie, would you mind helping me promote this program?
Mhm, mhm.
And it's not me reaching out to somebody blindly
Yeah.
through a LinkedIn chat and saying, hey, buy my program or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's we can have these nice conversations
Yeah.
about how we can support one another because we
Yeah.
know that with that relationship, we want to support one another. And so
Mhm.
now moving forward, it's just where are those opportunities that we can support one another, that we can do something together, that because we both are purpose driven, mission driven, we want to make an impact in the world.
That's
And
right.
so as you partner with more people who are in that same space that you are in terms of being that purpose driven, heart driven, mission driven entrepreneur who wants to make a difference,
Mhm.
those opportunities abound to work together and to do something together or to support one another in some way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's it takes work, right, Regina?
It does.
It's
And
extra work.
yeah, and it takes two words that you and I talked about on our first conversation, if I remember correctly. We talked about um, we talked about transparency
Mhm.
and authenticity, right?
Yes.
but it also, I would add sincerity to that. And,
Absolutely, being genuine.
yeah, being genuine.
I mean,
Absolutely.
it's Solomon like Burrell, Solomon Burrell. You should look him up on LinkedIn. He's an
I
amazing
will do
business
that.
owner,
Let me
and
write that down.
yeah, Solomon Burrell, Berel. Hopefully, I'm spelling that. There's not two L's, but anyway, point is, look him up, and somehow, see, this is about the collaboration. Sometimes it does not mean that you need to speak with someone and have a conversation. It just basically means you've just connected with one person, and because of that one person, their contacts start to notice you too.
Yes. Yes.
So I happen to find Solomon somewhere. I can't tell you how, but I remember, I'm sure I connected with someone. I believe it was through LinkedIn. We had a quick little chat, and we're still open to continuing the conversation.
There you
And so
go.
now I got to meet Solomon, or at least I got to know about Solomon. And can I tell you what an inspirational, successful businessman? He actually is an executive coach, and what a great person. Because of him, I am growing spiritually and personally.
Yeah.
And so again, collaboration is such a, sometimes it makes it sound that you need to now. Okay, what can we do? Let's let's collaborate. A, B,
Yeah.
C, 1, 2, 3. What's the next
Right.
step? No, it really, if anything, it's like you said, being genuine to who you are
Right.
and becoming very transparent in your outcome. What do you
Right.
want out of that?
Right.
And people will see through if you're just a fake.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot that you said just there.
Yeah, but it's got to become part of our lives, part of who we are. I personally, again, like I told you at the beginning, I'm as real as I can be. I still want everyone to like me,
Right.
but
I think
again,
that's part inherent in our nature.
yeah,
Yeah.
but again, I just understand that I need to stand for or stand against something, and I
Right.
need to be genuine in who I am,
Yeah.
because people will appreciate that. And if they're not the right people, it will definitely send them off their way. Like
Yep.
literally, I have had those conversations and I have not been back to those conversations because I don't say anything. It's just who I am.
Right. And then there's those, one of the things you brought out a moment ago that I think is really important is that it's not always about a collaborative event today. It's building that relationship and seeing what can surface in the future. I met with someone this past week that immediately I didn't see an opportunity for us to, I couldn't see how it would work together necessarily. But we left that door open.
Yes.
And if something comes along that we can work together on, then we'll do that. But again, you just continue to build the relationship. And sometimes it may be months or, maybe weeks, months, or years down the road before an opportunity arises to do something together. But you've got that relationship, and suddenly it's like, oh, yeah, this is the perfect person to do this with.
I know, because even when we met, Regina, I remember it's just you have such a positive energy, and I like that. Obviously, I love that, and I always that's who I am. I'm very optimistic. So
Right.
there's something that attracts that relationship or that initial conversation. And again, even if there is nothing that you believe would have come out of a conversation, I feel
Right.
the as as a servant leader, I still feel the need to see, is there something that I
Yeah.
can give? Is there
Right.
something that I can support with? And Michael was one of the guys who basically, he said it so good. He talks so well. Like I
Michael
wish I
DeLon
could. Yeah, he's
that
so
introduced us.
yes,
Yes,
he like he talks so good,
he
and
does indeed.
his words just come out so nice, right? But one of the things that he said in our conversation was the same thing that I do, which is initially in the conversation is basically saying, "Hey, I'm here to hear what's in your radar." And I did that
Mhm.
today. As a matter of fact, that was this morning. And I said to Kirsty, I said, "Hey, I'm here to hear about you. I'm here
Right.
to hear about what's in your radar in your business,
Yeah.
and if I hear something that I'm doing that can support you, whether it's my services or maybe my network, I will for sure bring it up, and we'll continue the conversation."
That is golden,
Right?
Eddie, because it's not about what we say, it's about that listening and listening for opportunities rather than, as you said, just spilling out everything you have going on. That's not what it's about. It's about learning what they need, what they want, and always looking, I'm always looking for the triple win. It's got to be a win-win-win. It has to be a win for you, a win for me, and a win for our clients.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And if it's not that, then it's not something I'm interested in. You
Yeah.
know, it
Have
has
you
to be that.
I'm curious to hear about, have you ever experienced where that someone that you're talking to is actually that heart center, the collaborative, lifetimer? Like he basically says, "You talk, Regina. I'm here to for you." Like,
Yeah,
have you ever,
yeah,
well, how did you
yeah.
react to that? What happened?
Oh, it's just like I get a little tongue tied, to be honest. I'm
Me
like,
too. Me too.
okay, what do I say? And I will sometimes say, you know what? I do a whole lot better if you'll ask me specific questions that kind of get that conversation started, and then I can, then it'll come out of me
Yes.
better. But yeah, I get a little tongue tied in that situation, and
Okay,
and
I'm the same way. Okay, good. Woo! So it's not just because it has happened to me, and
it's too broad. It's
well,
just so broad. I can't.
yeah,
It's like, where do I begin? When someone
right.
says, "Tell me about your business,"
Hmm.
um, instead of asking some specific questions, it's really
Yeah,
hard to address that huge generic question.
yeah.
Where do
Okay,
I begin? What is it they're really looking for? I don't want to
right.
wander around for 10 minutes and never hit the point that they're looking for.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's good.
if they'll
That's
define it a
really
little bit
good.
more, give me a
The-
little more specific question, then I can address it.
That's really good because, for yes, first of all, that throws me off a lot, and you're right. Like thinking back, I do end up just
Yeah,
going.
because you don't know what they're looking for.
Yeah, and at the end, I think we even had to say, let's have a second one because I want to know more. So, okay, I'm learning from you right now, Regina. This is good because, and it's interesting. I need to improve my question then at the beginning, because when I do, I guess it's how we enter the conversation. We're so used to being the one that we're here to support that, yeah, I totally completely forget that they may be feeling how I have felt, like you just explained.
Right,
But it's because, like what you just said, is give me some questions, give me something to work
right.
with.
Well, yeah, put me in a direction. Yeah, and then I can answer those
For
questions.
all of you who are watching and listening, you need to take notes on that one. That's very important. No, it is
It is. It
seriously.
is having that.
And I
Yeah,
appreciate that you said that, because then we get to the we get to what exactly is the meaningful parts where we
right,
can actually make some changes and collaborate, right? We can
right,
find that.
right. I want to bring out one other thing about collaborating and looking for good partners to collaborate with, and developing those relationships. And that
Mhm.
is the old expression, it's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
And as entrepreneurs, we can be in a very lonely place sometimes because we're not necessarily surrounded by people who really get everything that we're trying to do. Whether it's the creativity aspect, whether it's, just the building the business,
Yeah.
whether, whatever. There are elements of things that we do that friends, family, and, spouses, that kind of a thing may not understand all of that.
Yes.
And that's when it feels lonely, is when you're like, oh man, I just really need somebody that gets it,
Yeah,
understands where I'm at.
that is
And
so true.
having this network of collaborative partners
Hmm.
who have experienced what you're experiencing and understand that, and that you can have that kind of a conversation also,
Yeah.
and you just don't feel so alone
Yeah,
anymore.
that's true. Having that open door concept somewhere with someone is so important for me.
Yeah.
That's totally a transformational for me. Again, my buddy Joey, he's a great friend and a mentor for me because he knows me. He
Yeah.
knows when I'm not talking, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Or he knows when I tell him everything that I want to or think that I could be doing or should be doing or I'm doing, he's like, hey, let's just focus on one. He
Yeah.
knows, like he just
Right.
knows. When I tell him I'm overwhelmed, he knows.
He
When I
knows.
don't talk to him much, he knows.
He knows.
And
Yeah.
it's so important in my life, Regina. Let me tell you, like, I love the guy. He is amazing, but I think we always need to have someone like that.
Yes. And I want to take that beyond just the entrepreneur too. If you are an executive in a company and it's not your company, you can still be in that same spot. Or when you first move from the ranks into those executive levels, that can be a super lonely place, because you're leaving those folks that you've been working with, that you've been on that same plane with, and now you're moving into a new level that requires
Mm.
a different level of performance, a different level of relationships,
Mm.
and that can be a really difficult place. I remember years ago when I first moved into management in a credit union,
Mhm.
and I can still remember the day driving down the road thinking it's lonely at the top, because I no longer, I couldn't have the conversations with the people that I'd been working with about the challenges in the new position.
Mm.
You know,
That's right, because
you can't do that
that makes sense because you have to show up as a
as a
leader,
leader.
and if you start
Exactly.
sharing things like that, it's
Yes.
weakness.
And yeah, and they aren't in that position, so oftentimes they can't give you the
They
support
don't
that you
understand,
need.
or worse, they'll
Exactly.
panic.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, whether it's that you're an executive in a company, or you're an entrepreneur, those collaborative connections and conversations are vital.
Where would someone like that go and find places,
I
executive?
would think associations in
Right?
your industry would be one place. Perhaps even, local chamber of commerce, you might run into some folks there.
Sure.
But again, and online, obviously, there are opportunities.
Yeah.
If you can do searches if you have, what's the level of LinkedIn, their paid level, where you can do searches for people in different
Oh,
roles
right,
and
right.
companies.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, I think
premium. Yeah.
yeah, I can
Mhm.
never think of the name of it.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, things like that, where you can search out people that are at that
Mm,
same level that you're at, and
yeah.
start to build some relationships. So that's one way of doing it as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, it
associations
comes
actually
back
is
to
good.
relationships.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting, you mentioned that too because it's it did feel lonely for me, and I have heard that it does feel lonely, and especially nowadays, right, where we're having this mental issue or something, and I feel like
Yeah.
it's just because there's everyone's so either unfocused on who they are and what they can be,
Yeah.
and they're focused on their own thing, right? They're focused on what's happening and where they're going to be.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, just finding that, I guess. Do you look, Regina, that it should someone, because I'm trying to think like how did it and how do I ended up with having a circle of influence and through my life, like how does someone, let's say if they don't have that or they're looking for that, do they put a sign and say, hey, I'm looking, or like do they go up to you and Regina, can you be my friend, like what
That's a
you
that's
know
a
what I'm
really
saying,
good
like is there a
question.
right?
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I think it starts with being approachable, being vulnerable, being willing to reach out to others and and the reason I say approachable and vulnerable in that is that as you reach out to others, some people may not accept it. There may be some
Mm,
rejection, like we talked about in the beginning.
yeah.
So you've got to be willing to say, okay, that one wasn't the right one. Let's continue.
Mm.
I know that my people are out here.
Right, right. Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
it's building those relationships, having conversations with people, building
Yeah.
relationships
Yeah, that
wherever you meet
transparency,
them.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, it's such an important thing that you're doing here, Regina, with the collaboration conversations, because you got two of the most crucial words, very important words in our society today, in our digital world society for that matter, because we're
Yeah.
all digital now, right?
Yep.
But very important.
You made me think of something there. In almost every community, there is a Facebook group for that community.
Mm.
So there's a business owners Facebook group, okay, an
Mhm.
entrepreneurs Facebook group, whatever. Look in your community on Facebook and find those groups that are business owners. So, they're interacting with others, trying to, move their business forward, obviously. But within those groups can be some of those ideal people that you need to meet.
Yeah. I
So
think
again,
I
go
think
in with the
also,
attitude of connecting,
yeah,
collaborating.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say that. It's like, yeah, I think you still need to make sure that you have that heart, right? That giving
exactly.
heart,
What
that
can you
that
give first?
yes,
Give
yes,
first, give first, give first.
yeah, yeah,
So what can you
exactly.
put out there for others
That's true.
that that you can give and start to build a relationship through giving?
And
Yeah,
then we have to consider the fact that there's two types of personality. Well, maybe almost three now, but there's two types of personalities. Main person, someone extrovert and introvert. That is something that I right now I'm a lot more aware of that because of the style that we learned or the style that we who we are.
right.
And I will tell you that for me, for someone an extrovert like me, it is very easy for me to go and have conversations. But for being let's say at events, at a live event and meeting people, that's my main thing on how to build my connections.
Yeah.
But for
And of course, we
someone
haven't
who
had that for the last 2 years.
right, right, we haven't. That's why virtual became my go-to place.
Right.
But for those who are introverts, I'm learning that it actually does take work, not only for them to expose themselves in places, but for also someone to connect with them, because
It can be
they're
harder.
it's hard. Yeah.
And it's worse if it's two introverts.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Like,
I'm on the Myers-Briggs, I'm 50-50 introvert extrovert.
okay, that was my
So
third one.
yeah.
My girl calls you a middleburg.
Yeah.
Middlebird, Middlebird,
A
Middlebird.
middlebird. I like that. So I'm I've gotten to the place where I'm comfortable on the stage for the most
Mhm,
part.
mhm.
Doesn't mean I don't get nervous or whatever,
Right,
but
right.
doing this or on a stage, I'm pretty comfortable. And I like what I call doing the dog and pony show. I like sharing information and knowledge
Mm,
and getting people excited.
sure.
But when it's over with, then it's like I like going back to my room.
Okay. You know what?
And so it's harder and I struggle, it's easier for me to have a really good conversation with an extrovert like yourself,
Yeah.
but when I get an introvert, it's much harder because neither one of us really know what to say, but it's easy to carry on a conversation with an extrovert.
That's right.
That
That's
makes
true.
sense.
It makes no complete sense. I'm gonna tell you how what you just said was explained to me to
Yeah,
understand it.
right.
So the the extrovert, every morning they wake up with 0 coins in their
Okay.
hands. And their whole mission through the day is to get as many gold coins as possible.
Okay.
They won't stop until they are practically no one is out anymore
Right.
and they can
Right.
go to sleep. But then the next morning, they wake up with 0
With 0
again.
again. And
Now
have to
let's
do it
take
all
the
over.
introvert. The
Okay.
introvert only has 5 golden coins when they wake up in the morning. Only
Okay.
5. So when they wake up and they introduce themselves, or an extrovert like myself show up to them, they now give me one of
They
their
give
coins.
away. Got it.
By
Got
the
it.
middle of the day or
Yeah.
something like that, they need to
Yeah.
go up to their room and
Yeah. And
recharge
refresh.
because
Yeah.
they ran out of coins.
Yeah. That's good. And there's another distinction between introverts and extroverts too that a lot of folks, I think, aren't aware of necessarily. And that is the way we process the information. So we talk about this comfort zone and all of that, but there's also the way we process information. So introverts typically process internally. So they've got to take that information in and process it, and then they can respond. Okay, so there's a delay there while they're processing
That's true.
internally. Extroverts process out here.
Yes.
So they start the process of answering the question or addressing it or whatever, and then it may change before it gets to the end because they're processing as they
That's true.
go.
That is so true. That's so true. And everything, by the way, everything that we're saying needs to be understood, that it makes is a crucial point for you to understand who you are, because it makes
Yes.
the collaboration a lot easier.
Yes. And who are you collaborating with as well?
Right.
Yes.
Who are you
Yes.
collaborating and who you are? Because
Right.
I know that the introverts that I've met, they I tell them, I will say, yeah, let's just go live. I have nothing in front of me, no script. I'm
Yeah.
just being me.
Right.
For
Right.
them, it's like, well, what are we going to talk about? So
Yeah. Yeah. What
they have to
questions are you
have,
going to ask
they
me?
need to prepare
Yeah.
to go live, talking points and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's so interesting, right? Like how we work and manage through the
It
day like
is.
that.
It is. There's a lot to this conversation stuff, isn't there?
But it all comes down, Regina, to you. I love what you're doing here, because even right now, if anyone is watching or we watching the recording, if you haven't realized, this has been collaboration already,
Exactly.
right? Like we're
Yes.
finding out more or deeper into who we are and why we
Right.
do what we do. And
Yeah.
again, it's knowing that you are who you are, being real and genuine to yourself, and showing up to be
Yeah.
able to support as much as you can. And if
Right.
and I believe if someone is in a place where they need support, because I've been there years ago, I've been there, you feel like you need, I need that, like I want you to help me kind of attitude. If you go like that, just take a moment, just breathe for a moment, take an exhale, inhale kind of thing, and realize that the concept, I think it should be the golden rule, or I don't even know what the golden rule is right now, but the it should be this, it should be the staple here, is that in order for you to receive, you need to give. There's a
Yes.
principle in this earth that we live in, that when we need something, if we open up to give first, we receive. And I will
Yes.
tell you that by experience, every time, even through now, whenever I need a filled up on my tank, whenever I feel low, whenever I feel down, whenever just things are not going good in my world, God seems to kind of put that opportunity in front of me. And that person comes
To give.
across, because I'm an encourager, by that's my gift.
Right.
That person comes across, I say something, and all of a sudden I'm filled up again. There's hope again. I feel
That's
great.
awesome.
So
That's awesome.
we gotta remember that. Let's
Yeah.
use that for our benefit, really.
Yep. And my friend Jay Fazette says it's a game of I'll go first, meaning I'll give first.
Ooh,
I
I
will give,
like that.
and then yeah. So always, and
Isn't
especially in
there
your
isn't there
collaborations.
a book, The Go Giver? There's a book called The Go Giver.
Yes, there is a book called The Go Giver. Yeah, I don't know if I have that
Yeah.
one or not.
Yeah, I haven't. That's been a long time. So, yeah, I remember that one. I
Yeah,
like
but
that.
I'll go
Regina.
first.
Like,
Yeah.
who can give first, or who can
Yeah.
outgive, right?
Yep. Yep.
Oh my goodness, that wouldn't
That's a
this be
great game.
a wonderful world if we all thought that way?
Yes. That should be the game of life, right?
Yes.
Yes, it should. Oh, Eddie,
Oh,
this has been
goodness.
fun. This has
This is
been
so
great.
good.
Yeah.
I
We
enjoyed
hope
this.
that our audience has found some nuggets in this, some pearls, because I think we've dropped a few.
Yeah, yeah, and if you want something out of all this, just really the transparency, authenticity comes down to being able to collaborate with others. Just be you.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
you.
Just be you.
Yeah, and be real. Don't fake it. Don't
Yes.
fake it till you make it. Please do not
There
fall
you
into
go.
that trap. That's a lie. Do not do that.
Eddie, I'm going to put your LinkedIn link up here for folks to see
Oh,
so that they can
look at your
reach out to you
well, look at your
if they would
technical
like that.
skills.
How about
Wow.
that?
Look at that. Can you put some flair there?
No, I'm not that technical.
Can you make it flashy? Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know about that.
Yeah, LinkedIn has become an amazing platform for me. So I appreciate you
Right.
put that there because that's really
So,
where I'm active the most.
all right. So if you reach out to him, though, folks, remember you're reaching out to create a relationship, not to sell him something, but to
Hey,
create a relationship so that you can see where it can go.
that's
Okay. Same
right.
thing for both of us. Reach out
Mhm.
and look at creating a relationship with us. We would love that, both of us. As you can tell, we're
Expanding
both
our
pretty
exposure.
relationship based.
Yes.
Expanding, say again, Eddie.
Oh, I was gonna say it's expanding our exposure
Yes.
with good people, good networks, a good thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's wonderful. Thank you, Regina, for this because really, you get me all excited and hyped up about what it means to be real.
Awesome.
Being me, having real conversations, meaningful conversations. That's why I love that term. Um,
Yeah.
should I trademark that? No,
So
I don't think so.
we so we want to invite folks to make sure that they come back next Thursday. We also have a great show on Tuesday of next week, but next Thursday,
Ooh,
Eddie's coming back and he's bringing some of his collaborative partners with
yeah,
him.
let's do
So
that. Oh
come
my
back and
goodness.
see.
We're
We'll
gonna
have a panel discussion next week. It'll be fun.
Yes, that will be
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
We'll do what we can. I'll do what I can to bring my extroverts and introverts.
There you go. That'll be on the 4th of August, folks, so don't miss that. We also have a great show for you coming up on the 2nd of August on Tuesday. We've got a great show for you as well. So,
This is so good.
Eddie, thanks so much. Appreciate you so much for coming
You're
on
welcome.
today and
No, I appreciate you
having
for inviting me. Thank you so much. Yeah, I enjoy having these conversations with you, and it's so good that what you're doing because we all need that right now. We need
we do.
not only genuine conversations, but we need to all to remember and collaborate with each other, especially in our
Yeah.
times today. If we stick together, we'll be stronger and go through
Yeah.
any obstacles coming in.
And the really cool thing is it's that we're global now.
I
You
love
can
it.
collaborate with anyone anywhere on the planet. I had a
Yes.
wonderful conversation yesterday with a young man from Nigeria that's been a part of my Facebook group for a few years now, and we were, talking about opportunities for him. And it's just, it's
Mm,
so awesome. I got to speak at a women's conference in Nigeria this year online,
mm.
but got to speak at a women's
Wow.
conference. It's a global
Wow.
world, folks. You could connect with people from anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the
And so,
technology. That's the beauty of it. Don't
yeah,
let's not be afraid of it, or let's not
right.
dump the technology away. There, it's really it's a tool, and
Yeah,
with just like money, it's a tool.
right,
If you have
right.
the right heart, the right attitude, you're just gonna become better. You're gonna
Yeah,
expand your network much faster.
right.
But also, people are waiting. There are waiting out there for you.
Yes, they
Someone is
are. They
waiting
are.
for you.
And they need you and what
Yeah,
you have to offer.
yeah.
That's the other piece about sales. We started off talking about sales because that's what Eddie does. The other piece about sales is that if you have a product or a service that solves a problem for people,
Mhm.
you are doing others a disservice by not getting out there and making it available to them.
Yeah.
They're looking for your solution.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. And if anything, because I thought this before, I thought, well, that person is doing it, or she's doing that, or why would I bother? I mean, it's the same exact thing. That's Don't fall into that trap,
yeah,
because we can both, Regina and myself, can be selling the same exact thing. It could be the same copy, everything,
right.
but you can be attracted more to Regina or to myself.
Exactly.
And again, that's the one thing. There are so many people worry about how they're going to look, or worry
Yeah,
about someone is doing it, so they're going to be the
right.
ones pretending to be. Don't do that.
Yeah,
If you really truly, and again, genuine, like honestly, you have something in
right.
your from your experience or from your skills or both, go out and start sharing, start supporting,
Yeah,
because that one person is waiting for you to say the same thing that somebody else have said it before,
yeah.
and they're
And
going to be
then you get to
transformed.
be part of the ripple effect. Now you help that person and
Yes.
they go out and help other people. And you get
Regina,
to be part of that ripple.
we should do that next time. We should maybe we have that topic, the ripple of
The
impact.
ripple. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because that drives everything that I do. It,
Well,
it really is,
that's
does.
who
Yeah,
we are, and as
yeah,
purpose driven, we do not realize
yeah.
that this who we are now and what we do does not only impact that one person, but it
Yeah,
will impact others.
yeah. It's an unending ripple. It's
We
an
need to
unending
talk about
ripple.
that on that
Yeah,
one, and I can tell you,
love
oh
to.
my
Would
goodness,
love to. Yeah,
can I, yeah, when I bring my buddies over here, I think oh yeah, we need to do
we'll have fun.
that.
Folks, you don't want to miss it. Come join us again next Thursday.
There's so much on that subject, but it's the truth, it's the fact. And again, it all comes backs down to being who you are, and just collaborate, man,
Yeah,
collaborate,
yeah.
solve.
Have those collaboration conversations.
I love it. That's why I love your show.
All
So
right,
good.
folks. We will see you next week on Tuesday. Again, have a special show for you on Tuesday, and then Eddie and I will be back on Thursday with a panel, and we'll dive deeper into those ripples as well. So
Yeah, let's definitely do that. Thank you so
awesome.
much, Regina.
Oh, thanks for being here, Eddie. I appreciate you so much.
All
Bye
right.
bye, folks. See you next time.